don't shoot the messenger. I did not create the male brain. I don't know why they love these fragrances so much, but they do. Sometimes I think our perception is a little bit off about what certain fragrances say about us, especially when it comes to going on a date or which fragrances make us smell the sexiest or the most attractive. I think it's really interesting how a woman can think her fragrance is very, very attractive, whereas a man would say, no, that one's just okay. This one is much better. So what I did was I took 10 fragrances from my collection that I thought would be 100% dead ringers, super sexy, and I had a few different men in my life, including my significant other, go through and rate these fragrances. And I was kind of shocked, but not really shocked, as to which ones he found the sexiest and that ranked higher on the list overall. So if you guys are interested in hearing the results of this, then stay tuned. Okay, so as always, I have the 10 fragrances I will be talking about in this box, and without further ado, let's just get right into it. Okay, so our number 10 spot is Lancome We Trace. So this fragrance is very, very popular. I think this is kind of highly regarded on the YouTube community as being a very sultry, sensual, appropriate for the evening, clubbing, dating kind of a fragrance. I've heard a lot of women say that this is what they would wear if they went out to a club, and while it was sexy according to the guys I talked to, it definitely did not rank very high on the list, and actually one of them ranked this as the lowest spot on the list. So this is a very sweet, fruity, gourmand kind of a fragrance. It definitely has kind of sultry, sensual, sweet, feminine vibes, and I personally really like this fragrance. I thought that this would be a lot higher up on the list than it was ranked, and I was very surprised when it was actually at the completely dead bottom of the entire list of the sexy fragrances that I chose. So yes, this one they said was okay, it smells nice, but it did not come close to being the sexiest on the list. So in my number 10 spot, we have Lancome We Trace. Okay, number 9 on the list. I am just as shocked as you guys are. This is Tom Ford Noir Perfume. Now, the whole reason I even purchased this fragrance is because I thought that this would be a boss woman, little black dress, high heel, uber sexy fragrance, and apparently it does not rank as high on the list as some of the other ones. The feedback that I received about this one is it smells expensive, it smells good and very feminine, but not necessarily like come close to me, come hither kind of sexy fragrance. So yes, obviously every man is going to be different, and there might be some men in this world who just love this fragrance on a woman. But in terms of like physical attraction and stuff like that, this did not rank as high on the list as some of the other ones. So this is a very balsamic, vanilla, kind of a woody, powdery fragrance for women. It definitely has those evening kind of boozy vibes to it. I can picture myself wearing this at some kind of a high-end resort, going out where there's a lot of people in a room, someplace where you need to get noticed, where you don't want to wear a fragrance that's just going to kind of be too close to the skin, and there's a lot going on around you, so you do have to stand out a little bit. This is the kind of fragrance that I would wear this for. This is delicious. This is gourmand. If you guys haven't tried it, it's phenomenal, but according to the men that I spoke to, it did not rank as high on the list in terms of sex appeal and physical attraction as I thought it would. Number 8 spot, we have Dior Addict for women. So this is actually also one of my favorite fragrances. It breaks my heart that this is not higher up on the list, because to me this would be one of the very first fragrances I would reach for a date night, especially a date night where I wanted to smell a little bit more mature, not sleazy or anything like that, not super provocative, but still very sexy and very attractive. This would have been one of the ones I would have reached for, hands down. And the feedback that I received about this one was that yes, it smells very nice, it's good, it's a very nice fragrance, but this is more like respectable. You smell really good, but that's about it. So this is a vanilla and white floral fragrance. The most prominent notes in here are vanilla, tonka bean, and sandalwood, so it's got a very smooth, kind of a creamy vibe about it. There's also a couple of other floral notes. There's jasmine, there's orange blossom, there's rose, and there's also blackberry. So this is a gorgeous fragrance. But according to the men I spoke to, this did not sit very high on the list in terms of overall sex appeal. So this is Christian Dior, Dior Addict. Number 7 on the list, so we're moving closer to the top 5. This is Christian Dior Hypnotic Poison. So this one is a very well-loved, well-known fragrance. This is a almondy vanilla scent. This is excellent for winter and the fall. If you haven't smelt it already, which I'm sure you have, this is definitely one that I would consider to be a must-try or a must-have in your collection. One of my absolute favorite fragrances of all time. The feedback that I got for this was very, very good, but it still did not make the top 5 list of sexy fragrances. That said, this is still a very sexy fragrance according to all the research I've done, all the reading I've done, and the men that I spoke to. So this is very sweet, it's very intoxicating, it's very sensual, it's very cozy. It definitely has like cozy vibes. This is perfect for cuddling, this is perfect for intimate evenings together, this is perfect for even just a winter day. Like, you can get away with this in so many scenarios, but it definitely has a very sensual, sweet, attractive quality about it that a lot of men seem to really enjoy. So this is Hypnotic Poison by Dior. I'm getting there, but not the most sexy on the list. Okay, and the last one in our least sexy list in this top 10 is Black Opium. So this one, again, getting closer to those super sexy fragrances, but not the most sexy. This one is a very sweet vanilla coffee fragrance. It also has pear in it and jasmine. I think it has orange blossom that just smells incredible on everybody. Some people wear this as a signature scent. This is good for going out to the club, in my opinion, and according to all of the reading and all of the reviews that I've seen online. So the feedback that I got for this one, again, this is getting there. This is more like, yes, that's a little bit sexier, definitely something you would like to smell on a woman when you go out to a club or a lounge or a piano bar or something like that, but still not the most sexy on the list, but definitely a lot more attractive, a lot more giving off those kind of seductive vibes. So yeah, this one beats out La Nuit Trésor, this one beat out Dior Addict, this one beat out Hypnotic Poison. So even though this is kind of generic and I feel like everybody owns this one, and it definitely makes me less likely to put it on. There might be a reason why it's so popular, and that is because men and women alike both really like this fragrance. So this is our number 6 spot, Black Opium from Yves Saint Laurent. Number 5 spot, Narciso Rouge from Narciso Rodriguez. This has been a personal favorite of mine for a really long time. I've loved this fragrance since I first smelt it, and if you guys are not new to my channel, you know that Narciso Rodriguez is one of my absolute favorite designers when it comes to fragrance. I absolutely love this one. This is a very powdery, musky, woody, floral fragrance, but it's also very sweet. So if you can imagine the typical Narciso musky fragrance, but then you've also added some orange blossom, which is generally a very sexy, sweet, feminine note, and you've also added a lot of tonka bean and vanilla. This is like a musky, woody, sweet bomb. It is so good. It's so sensual. It's perfect for the evening. This is one that I wear more in the fall and the winter, but you could definitely get away with this in the summer as well in the evening. This one was considered to be quite sexy. Yeah, the reactions that I noticed in the men who smelt this were very good. Yeah, you can tell that they really like it. I've also had really good experiences wearing this myself. This is one of my most complimented fragrances ever. This is a very sultry, sexy, sweet, kind of an intoxicating fragrance, and it's also pretty unique. I don't know a lot of fragrances that have that kind of Narciso vibe, but that have taken it down this kind of really provocative, sexy path. So this is Narciso Rouge from Narciso Rodriguez, number 5 spot. Number 4 spot, none other than Armani Code Cashmere for women. So this is one of the fairly newer ones from Armani. It's been around for a few years already. They used to have the satin, and that one was discontinued, which is a real shame because the satin one I loved as well, and I found it to be almost better than this one in some ways, but I really, really love this fragrance. This is a very sweet, almondy, white floral fragrance. There's also leather in here, there's also incense, so I think that that kind of adds to the sultriness of the fragrance. Anything that kind of smells a little incensey, a little bit skin-like, and animalic with that leather is gonna have some good results for sure. So this one has top notes of heliotrope, orange blossom, almond, and jasmine. It's also very creamy and very warm, very cozy. This is kind of along the same lines as the Hypnotic Poison, but this one is a little less warm and a little less cozy and just more seductive, just way more seductive. Yeah, this one was a dead ringer, no-brainer. It was for sure in the top 5 according to all the reviews that I've done and the men that I spoke to. This one just kind of blows other ones out of the water. Unfortunately, it's not super unique. I know a lot of people have this one or they've heard about it, but there's a reason that it's so popular, and let's face it, Armani does fragrances properly. They make a lot of good men's fragrances and they make a lot of really good women's fragrances. So this is in our number 4 spot, Armani Code Cashmere. Okay, so finally in our top 5 list, we have a fragrance that I would have considered to be very classy, but also very sexy, and that is Chanel Coco Noir. Hallelujah, thank God. They chose one that I would have chosen for myself that isn't super provocative or super sleazy smelling. It's very classy. Yeah, just a really beautiful fragrance. I'm so happy that it made it onto the top 5 list. So this is a spicy, sweet, woody, kind of a patchouli fragrance. This one actually surprised me a little bit. I thought that this might be a little bit lower on the list just because this does have a lot of patchouli, a lot of citrusy notes. It's a little bit spicier. And it's not your run-of-the-mill mainstream black opium clubbing kind of a fragrance. This one definitely has an element of class. It has an element of sophistication. It smells expensive. So yeah, I was really thankful, but also kind of surprised that it beat out some of the more popular ones like Hypnotic Poison and Noir Femme. So the main notes in here that you pick up are patchouli, rose, sandalwood, grapefruit, olibanum, tonka bean, bergamot, vanilla, geranium, jasmine, musk, and then there's a few other notes as well that are kind of in the background and just support it. But when this dries down on your skin, this is an absolutely gorgeous, intoxicating tonka bean, vanilla, patchouli fragrance. If you don't like patchouli, you might not love it, but I love patchouli. This one was described by the guys as being not only very, very sexy, but also very classy. So if you want to be taken seriously and have some respect and just smell like a very sophisticated, classy, respectable woman, but with super, super sex appeal, this one was the one that kind of did that job. So yes, this is number 3 on our list, Coco Noir from Chanel. Number 2 spot, Viva La Juicy Gold Couture. This one, you guys, kind of surprises me, but doesn't really surprise me all that much. From all of the reviews that I've read, all of the videos that I've seen, all of the top 10 lists, all the forums, everything I've looked at, this one comes up time and time and time again. Men just really love this caramel bomb of a fragrance on a woman. So this is primarily caramel, vanilla, and berries. There's also amber, there's honeysuckle, there's jasmine, and there is sandalwood. So it's a very uncomplex fragrance. It's a very sweet, creamy fragrance. This is actually one of my personal favorites in the entire Viva La Juicy line. I like this better than the original Viva La Juicy. I think this one has a little bit more going on because of all that caramel. I really, really like it. I think the really weird thing about this fragrance is that, to me, I perceive this as something a teenager, a sorority girl, somebody in their early 20s would wear, going to a club, basically, you know, looking for a one-night stand kind of thing. That is the vibes that I get from a lot of the Viva La Juicy fragrances. But it doesn't seem to matter what the age of the man. It doesn't matter what forum I look at, who I talk to. Men of all ages like this fragrance. There's something about it. It's sweet, it's seductive, it's feminine, it's ultra girly. It's just the epitome of sexiness in a bottle. So this one is number 2 on our list. This is Viva La Juicy Gold Couture. Okay, and the number 1 sexiest fragrance on this list, the one that beat out La Nuit Trésor, the one that beat out Tom Ford Noir Femme, Hypnotic Poison, Black Opium, and Armani Code. Can you guess what this one is, according to the men I spoke to? This is Juicy Couture Bodacious. Yes, I know. To me, I feel like this is something I would wear when I was 17 years old, literally. So the feedback that I got from the men that I spoke to was that this one smells the, how do I put this nicely? The most provocative. This one is the most provocative out of all the fragrances. This is the one that makes a girl seem like she wants you to come closer to her. Yeah, to put it nicely. There was definitely some more terminology used, and you guys, don't shoot the messenger. I did not create the male brain. I don't know why they love these fragrances so much, but they do. They love the Juicy Coutures. They love the super sweet, ultra feminine, youthful smelling fragrances. Again, to me, this would not be my first choice for a date. Like, my instincts would say wear Dior Addict or Tom Ford Noir Femme or Marc Jacobs Decadence or something like that. My first instinct would definitely not be to put on this fragrance. I feel like myself as a woman, I have a hard time taking myself seriously when I wear fragrances like this. I just do. But men love it, and it has been my experience when I've worn this fragrance. I kind of have tested it out for a couple of dates and it has always gone over very, very well. Super high complimented. Men just love this fragrance and it's very sexy. There you go. This is the #1 on our list. This is Juicy Couture Bodacious. Okay, so these were the top 5 sexiest fragrances out of the ones that I shared with you today. I'm curious to know your thoughts. Do you agree with these picks? If you are a man watching, what is your take? Do you agree? Is there anything you'd like to add? And if you're a woman watching, were you shocked or surprised by any of these? I know I certainly was. If you have any other fragrances that you have received very, very good feedback from a man when you wore, definitely share that below. I'd be interested to know your thoughts. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope everybody has a great day. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching again. Head on over and follow me on Instagram if you haven't already, because I do share a lot of things on there that I don't on YouTube. And I will see you all next time.